Saturday Social is powered by FIFA 22 with PlayStation.
Yeah, we're going to move on to the Premier League now, though. We are going to move on to the Premier League because the transfer window is finally behind us. Absolutely delighted about that. And we've got two of the prediction kings of YouTube.
As we proved in part one.
Absolutely, as we proved in part one on the show. So we thought, what better time to do some mid-season Premier League predicting? The January window's just slammed shut. We've seen teams do their business. We're going to get some predictions for the next 5 months of Premier League football. We've got 5 categories to go through. We've got champions.
Yeah.
We've got top 4. We've got Champions League winners. Ooh. We've got the teams that are going to get relegated. And we've also got the best January signing.
Like it.
OK, let's keep it very simple. We'll start with your champions predictions. Who is going to win the Premier League? We can have a look at who you said. Now, you've both gone for Manchester City. Shock horror. It's a tap-in for you.
Yeah, it's easy. If you don't go for Manchester City, then I do question your opinion highly. They are top of the league. Yeah. They've got great squad rotation. They've been able to rest Kevin De Bruyne sometimes, and we'll still see the best of him at the end of the year. They're not going to get burnt out. They've got Pep Guardiola as manager. He's going to win the Prem again. I'm
just going to play devil's advocate slightly, just because somebody's got to, haven't we?
Yeah.
I also think Man City are going to win the Premier League, but Liverpool win their game in hand. They're back to 6 points. Still got to play Manchester City in the second half of the season. We can have a look at the top of the table if you haven't seen it in a while, because we haven't been with the Premier League for a couple of weeks now, have we? They can jump up to within 6 points by winning the game in hand. They've still got to play Man City. If they win that, then get it back to 3. So are people being a bit premature here, saying this is a walk in the park for City now?
They're not. I think City will win it by 12 points. I think they are different level. And that's no disrespect to Liverpool, who are a wonderful team. Kevin De Bruyne is a sensational player. He's coming good at the right time. Phil Foden is something else. We haven't even seen the best of Jack Grealish yet.
No.
So City all day long.
Yeah, wow. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Somebody's got to try it, haven't they? Somebody's got to try it.
No, City all day long.
But it is City. It is just going to be a cakewalk for City now, surely. The depth of their squad is just frightening. And Jack Grealish, new trim yesterday. So maybe second half of the season.
I think that's a good point you make, actually.
What about the trim?
Yeah, that's why they're going to win. No, I think with City, it's the strength in depth.
It is.
Liverpool or Chelsea lose a couple of their key players. It's who they replace it with. It's big, like we saw when Van Dijk was injured, of course. It was a huge issue for Liverpool, and he's one of the best defenders in the world. But Man City have a couple of injuries, and they replace them with like for like. And
Chelsea, we've seen that with the fullbacks, haven't we? With Reece James and Ben Chilwell being out for a couple of months has just hammered Chelsea's whole game plan.
Yeah. OK, so you're both in agreement with Man City. Let's have a look at your next prediction. So we asked you to pick your top 4. Now, some slight disagreement in this one, as we can see. Thogden's on the left, Thogdad's on the right. So you've both gone Liverpool and Chelsea. Yeah. Now, Thogden's gone Arsenal, Thogdad's gone Man United. So let's come to you, Theo, first. Arsenal, why?
Arsenal, because they're going to do it. They're not in many competitions left now. They don't have any European football to worry about. They're no longer in the Carabao Cup. The FA Cup, they lost to Forest. They can put full focus on the Premier League. And I think if Arteta will have his players back, like Partey's back in the Premier League, we don't know what's going to go on with Xhaka. But with their first 11, we saw an incredible run of games that they brought some momentum. And I think if they continue that...
Have they not lost that momentum, though? They had a terrible January.
I know you're going to say this.
A terrible January.
You don't understand how important Xhaka and Partey are to that midfield. Lokonga is not on the same level. New signing this season, I'd say he needs a lot more time to gel. But like I said, when they've got their first team, that momentum will grow again. I know they will have some difficult games. Can they compete against the other big 4? Look, I think they can give them a good chance. If Arteta was inside the ground for that match against Manchester City and they didn't lose it in the heads when they got the red card with Gabriel, I think they could have won that game. They're proving to me they're improving.
Yeah, look, I've got huge respect for Arsenal, and we've seen Smith Rowe and Saka and Martinelli absolutely smash it this year, and that's brilliant to see. I just think they're going to run out of steam, Theo. That is my worry. They're a little bit thin. They didn't spend in the transfer window. They're going to fall away a couple of places.
So who's getting that 4th? You said Manchester United.
Manchester United.
Come on,
you're going to agree,
I've done
aren't
this
you?
just because Joe's here.
And part of it
well,
is...
he's not gone Spurs, I'm here. We can have a look at this table. Let's have a look at it. At the minute, it's very close, of course. Man United currently occupied with 38 points, a game less than West Ham. But look at Tottenham.
You know what?
Bring it back to Tottenham. They've got 2 games in hand of Man United and 3 of West Ham. Only 2 behind, so Tottenham just not
4 on Chelsea, mate.
4 games in hand of Chelsea.
I thought about Tottenham. I thought about Wolves as well.
Yeah.
If Wolves scored more goals, they've got the second best defence in the league.
Yeah.
So I thought about these teams. I just think Man United, Cristiano Ronaldo, Jadon Sancho at some point is going to come through. Marcus Rashford's going to get better. Pogba, where's he gone? Let's see him back in the team. I don't know if that's an injury thing.
Yeah, he's
I just think Man United have got in their DNA, they've got the winning mentality. They've had it since the 50s. Sir Alex Ferguson, Sir Matt Busby. I just think that'll pull them through. Similar with Egypt. That's why Egypt are going to win AFCON. It's that winning mentality.
Smithy swayed me, not Thogdad. Manchester United are in third place, in my opinion, for that fourth spot. I think it's between Arsenal, Tottenham. North London derby is going to be an absolute cracker.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really is.
That's going to, if one of those teams win, it's going to generate a massive difference by the Premier League table by the end. I think Tottenham, if Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, if he's coming back from injury soon, if they go on a run, who can stop them? Kulusevski now, good signing as well. We don't really know what he's going to be like. I know you missed out on Adama Traore. I bet you're gutted about that.
Missed out on a few players, didn't we? Diaz and Traore, but then
Luis Diaz.
Got in a few players, Luis Diaz and Adama Traore. So interesting to see how the new lads settle in. But
just to bring it back to United, though,
okay.
Sorry, because that's just stressing me out.
Because I'm a United fan.
That's just it's stressing me out. Your two's opinion on United just falling away. Just Theo, third place in the top 4 race, despite the fact they're in the top 4 and are improving under Ralph Rangnick.
He's not happy with that, by the way.
With the deeper squad, because Pogba's back. I totally agree with Thogdad on that.
Pogba was great against Middlesbrough, to be fair.
And
I think he wants you to reply as to why United are third place.
Yeah, exactly that.
No, to be honest, in my opinion, don't get me wrong, they could end 5th or 6th. I kind of worded that wrong. I just thought if I'm going for one team to end 4th, I was going for Arsenal or Tottenham. The reason I don't think that'll be Manchester United is because the lack of options. I'm not too convinced with Ralph Rangnick. I watched them against Middlesbrough, and it's actually hard to watch 90 minutes of football with Manchester United because you know how much talent and how much value that team has, and it's not proving it on the field.
But last night was better for United. United were better? Markedly better.
You got knocked out to Borough in the Cup.
I agree.
And you're saying better. You're Manchester United.
Results-wise, disastrous, but United should have put Borough away last night. How United did not win that game in normal time.
I think is what you're saying.
And I agree, but I do think that was a little bit of a freak result. I think performances are improving now under Ralph Rangnick, which is a positive sign. And to your point about not having necessarily... I think United have got probably the most depth of any of the challenging top 4 in multiple areas, in the front line, particularly at the back. I think don't write United off just yet. Although Tottenham... What's your take on this situation?
Do you know what you mean about depth? Obviously, if Spurs had Kane and Son at the team, there's a huge void there. And you're talking about Arsenal, if they lost Saka and your Smith Rowes and the players like that, obviously they're reliant upon that. Of course, Aubameyang's gone, didn't replace them. A lot of Arsenal fans talking about the lack of cover up front as well. So I do know what you mean with regards to depth. But then I think your point of United is they're not performing at the level the depth should be performing at with the players at their disposal. So I think it's probably it's between the 3. I think it's going to go down to the final day. It's very tough to call.
Are we disrespecting West Ham?
Yes, I was going to say that. People in East London are fuming right now because they've been sensational. We've got to say that. But we looked at the transfer window and West Ham didn't bring anyone in. And their squad is a little bit thin. So I'd criticise Arsenal and West Ham for not doing a little bit of business in January.
This is West Ham's best ever chance to go far in Europe, qualify for top 4, make that step up into the so-called Big 6.
Yeah.
And they've really disappointed me with the lack of business.
Because
David Moyes is a great manager. He's doing a wonderful job. How much longer are they going to rely on a managerial masterclass? They need the depth of the Big 6.
And of course, going back to your earlier point, you were talking about the fact that Arsenal, Spurs aren't in European competitions, so have a bit more time. West Ham doing very well. It's worth pointing out in Europe, playing Thursdays and then playing the weekend. We've seen how that affects teams in the Big 6 as well.
But can I just add one thing to United? You're in Europe. I think you're going to have a massive focus on Champions League. Cristiano Ronaldo turns up for Champions League games.
If we can't get top 4, how are we winning the Champions League then?
Yeah, we will get on to Champions League, but I think Manchester United against Atletico especially, I think you'll beat them. Ronaldo against the old Madrid rivals.
Yeah, you teed the Champions League up lovely for us. So we may as well get your Champions League predictions then.
Yeah.
So let's do the Champions League next then, because we do have yet more disagreement over Champions League winners.
Ooh, interesting.
Liverpool, Thogdad, Manchester City, Thogdad. Why do you believe they're going to break the hoodoo this time?
Well, I'll tell you something. We've seen a lot of football this year. We've been over to Spain to see Barcelona, Real Madrid. We've seen PSG in the flesh, Bayern Munich. And I'll tell you something, an English team will win this tournament. And it could be any of the big 4. I think the 4 big English teams are the best in Europe
Why do you say that? Because you've seen all these teams play?
We've seen them all.
What is it about the English teams that you think are so and a level above the Spanish teams or the German teams that you've seen play?
I think we just got it together. I mean, you look at the quality of the talent that's in the Premiership right now, and we've talked about the Fodens and the De Bruynes and the Cristianos and, you know, Lukaku, etc. Just the quality of the talent we've got. Barcelona, of course, you know, they've fallen away. It's not going to be them. Real Madrid, I think, a bit suspect at the back, aren't they? Great going forward. PSG, brilliant at the front, but a bit mediocre elsewhere in the team. Bayern Munich are a good shout. Maybe Ajax.
I thought about saying Ajax, but I thought I might get roasted by Joe.
Yeah. Rogue shout. Not necessarily. They're playing some great football, aren't they? And I mean,
for a Champions League,
Seb Haller is sensational. We've seen them. We've seen
Ajax.
We've seen Ajax rip it up before in the Champions League deep and cause some upset. So I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility.
Didn't
but
beat
I do
Spurs,
think
did they?
It didn't really.
But
I kind of agree that Bayern Munich are the side to beat.
Shall we have a look at the fixtures? Because I think, obviously, as I said, we haven't seen the fixtures. Just to remind viewers what state of play we're at. This is the last 16, obviously two-legged, of course. First leg fixtures see PSG against Real Madrid, which is a huge one. So the English teams, which you've both gone with, Man City play Sporting Lisbon, Liverpool play Inter Milan. So some interesting ones there, Theo, aren't there?
Some crackers. Very excited for PSG Real to open up the fixtures. Feels like it's been donkeys since the last Champions League nights.
Yeah. So why have you gone Liverpool then? Why have you gone Liverpool? Because you haven't really spoken about that.
Yeah. To be honest, I left Estadio El Dragao seeing the Champions League final between Chelsea and Manchester City, thinking City were going to win the Champions League. And they're going to play Liverpool in the final. That's my prediction. Why I think Liverpool will win it? Well, it's because the Premier League is going to go to City and they're going to be fired up to win a big trophy that year. Do you count the Carabao Cup as a big trophy? And even so, are they going to beat Chelsea? I'm unsure. I think it's all going to come down to the Champions League final. And I think Sadio Mane and Salah are going to team up with Luis Diaz and Jota and all the new options. Harvey Elliott coming back. If Trent and Robertson are fit. On their day, they're unstoppable. I think, will Pep overthink it again? That's the big question. What's he going to do in a Champions League final? We know he won it with Barcelona, but will he win it with City? He hasn't done it yet. What do you think, Smithy?
I think, Liverpool and City, I certainly think are hugely. If you looked at the top 3 or 4, you'd have... I think everyone would have Liverpool, Man City in the top 3, 4. I think
surely
talking about
Bayern
English
as well.
teams, you mentioned Bayern, you mentioned PSG. The only thing I was going to say is neither of you or no one has mentioned Chelsea, who are the holders. So are they not in your thoughts at all?
They are in my thoughts, yes. I think it's one of those 3. I've gone for Man City. I said earlier I think City will win the league by 10 to 12 points. And I think the last 6 games of the Premier League, they're going to play their second team and rest up their key players. And I think that's a big part of it. City at some point are going to win the Champions League. Obviously with Liverpool and Chelsea, it goes back to this DNA thing. They've won it before. And that's what worries me about City. But one year they're going to win it.
Going back to your point of what I think, I do think Man City are the best team to watch. They win the league. But there is something about Liverpool in the Champions League. If you're asking me which English team do I think are most likely to win the Champions League, you just look at Liverpool and the atmosphere in Anfield and everything that comes with it and how good they are. And every year I look at Liverpool and think they've got a shout in the Champions League. But we have to move on because relegation was the next one we asked you for your prediction for. Now, I think the relegation battle, this is one of the most exciting aspects of the league because it's so tight down there and everyone's had their say. But interestingly, you're in complete agreement with the 3 teams that are going to go down. Let's have a look at what you've gone with. There it is. Burnley, Norwich and Watford. Thogdad, was this easy for you? Was it tough? Because, as I said, you've gone for the same 3.
I mean, I would have given you the same answer in July. We made this video in July.
You did give that answer
and I said
July.
those 3 teams. Norwich and Watford, I think it's self-explanatory. I just think Norwich didn't do any business in January. They spent a lot of money in the summer transfer window, and I don't think they spent it very well. Watford, on their day, can be wonderful, but they can also be woeful. And which team's going to turn up? I mean, Emmanuel Dennis, Josh King, Ismail Assar, those are exciting players, but
it's been a while since they've been wonderful.
Inconsistency.
We can have a look at the table now, because the thing that jumps out again here is obviously the difference in games played. I mean, Burnley have got, trying to work my maths out here, but they've got 5 games in hand of Brentford, Burnley, 4 games in hand with Norwich. They're only 4 points off Norwich, but they are at the foot of the table. The other thing with Norwich is their goal difference, -32.
Can we just point out, what a game tonight?
Yeah.
Watford, is it Watford-Burnley? They've got...
It is,
It's huge. Look at the table. I mean, that's a 6-pointer.
That is astonishing. But the thing about Burnley, Theo, they've only won once this season. Now, you've got to win 8 to 10 games in a season to stay up. Can you see Burnley winning another 7, 8, 9 games? Cornet, Weghorst, McNeil, that's quite exciting. They can stay up. I think it'll be close. I think Brentford will come into the mix.
Dad, do you know what Burnley missed this season? They've gone with the investment to sign Cornet at the start of the season was brilliant. Super. They do miss and Mislav Orsic on the wing.
Yes.
I watch Burnley and I know what Weghorst will do is bring a few more goals. We don't know how many chances he's going to get. Chris Wood only scoring 3 goals in the Premier League, the lowest out of all the Premier League strikers that play regularly. It's pretty poor. What can Weghorst do different? Yes, he can make a few more runs, but if the creativity is not there, how many chances will he get? They didn't sign a creative midfielder. We spoke about Martin Hongler. That was an example of someone obviously he was at AFCON, but that's the sort of example. They needed someone like that. No Orsic on the wing who could have created something special. I think Burnley may just go down, and we agree on that.
Yeah. And it's a shame in some ways because Sean Dyche has done an amazing job over the last few seasons with very little resource keeping Burnley up.
He's going to prove us wrong, isn't he?
I hope he does. As a Lancastrian, I hope Burnley can survive.
Yeah, not beyond the realms of possibility.
Just quickly, I've got to say, Thogdad's pre-season predictions. He went for Man City first, top 4, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United. Obviously, we don't know if this is going to pan out. But his bottom 3, Norwich, Burnley and Watford. So,
sensational.
Not bad shouts.
Sensational. Theo, you had Brentford in there, by the way. And you had Crystal Palace 17.
Oh,
we got
didn't need to mention that. Don't worry, I'll dig out your predictions.
Oh, don't. No. Let's move on rapidly.
Talk, by the way.
Let's move on rapidly to, very finally, your best January transfer. We can have a look at who you've gone for here. Christian Eriksen and Luis Diaz. Theo, why Christian?
It's just a beautiful story. I'm so thankful to see him back in football. The fact that the Premier League have taken him in, allowing players with an ICD. Obviously, the Serie A don't allow that, so that's really disappointing. There's a big Danish family at that club. So
there is 8 Danish players prior to the signing, and of course, Thomas Frankwell as well.
So he's going to feel at home there. He's in London, around the corner. I think with him, 8 points adrift from the table, they're going to go further and step up. They're not going down. I'm sorry I predicted it. Hands in the air.
Do you know
quickly, Luis Diaz, you went for
Luis Diaz. You know when Liverpool go shopping, they shop at Versace. They don't go to Poundland. They buy.
Other stores do exist.
They buy a Virgil van Dijk, an Alisson, a Salah, and Luis Diaz is the next one. He's a left winger, a right-footed player. He can run with the ball. He can cut inside, beat 1 player, 2 players, 3 players. We saw that against Man City.
We did.
In the Champions League. He's got a great ping right into the corner. I think he's got 14 goals and 5 assists in the Portuguese league this season. He's a really exciting player. And I tell you what, Sadio Mane is going to be worried because he plays left-sided. Competition for Sadio Mane.
And it's perfect for them as well, because the contract's just coming up for Sadio Mane and Salah. It gives them a really strong negotiating position, doesn't it, when they go into that boardroom? Who are you going to go for as your January?
I think Luis Diaz is a great shout, actually. But I do agree. I think Eriksen's is a beautiful story. Yeah. It's great. I mean, no one loves Christian Eriksen more than I do. And for what he went through and everything, it's just great to see him back. Luis Diaz, I think, is a very good shout. He's going to be a fantastic signing.
I think we're missing out on Big Voot here. 6'6", pure
Voot
muscle.
Weghorst,
You called it.
Weghorst, 2018. I'm telling you, he could hit the ground running.
Okay.
He could be the difference between Burnley staying in the division.